All right. So we've all heard the phrase, climate is what you expect and weather is what you get. Climatologists like myself and several other that are on the panel here today would probably argue that climate is a lot more than what you expect. Case in point was last water year. During water year 2015, the Northwest was dealt a highly unusual hand of cards. That resulted in a cascade of climate impacts and left many calling this year sort of a trial run for what climate might be more like by the mid to late 21st century. So to set the stage for the great set of talks and discussions that we have here in the opening plenary, what I'd like to do is take you back to last winter, in quotation marks. Okay, so precipitation last autumn and into winter was right on schedule. Amounts were pretty close to normal, as much as close to normal as they can be in the region. The problem was it was just way too warm. Snow didn't fall at the regular elevations that it did fall. What snow did fall melted off early, and it left ski resorts like these ones in the inland Northwest, as well as the Cascades, looking rather barren, and these are images from February. Ski resorts closed early, and that was just the beginning of what actually came for the remainder of the year. So just as spring came early, as the snowpack melted off early, so did summer. And boy, did it ever come early. Some found a way to cope with the incredible heat. Temperatures in June were quite incredible. And while some found ways to cope, others didn't fare so well. And as summer went on, we had a sort of a 1-2 punch, where we had a snow drought that was then followed by an incredibly warm and dry summer. And that resulted in some of the region's rivers turning into streams and streams turning into puddles. And then there was the emerging threat to the region's forests as fuel moisture levels started to decline pretty rapidly. A lot of public lands were actually closed temporarily to try to avert fire danger. But the ignitions came anyways, and they met a highly unusual flammable landscape. And it pretty much ruined the great late summer days that we rely on in the Northwest as, pretty regularly clear skies, sunny conditions, great opportunity to go outside. And it created this, which really was an apocalyptic scene, with air quality levels downright unhealthy. Particulate matter levels in certain areas rival those that are seen in places like Shanghai and Beijing during certain times of the year. The impact didn't end there. It had its toll on the region's agriculture. We still had an apple crop, we still had a cherry crop, we still had a wine grape crop, just a little bit smaller than normal. And that was both for rain-fed and irrigated crops. Now, some backyard gardeners who live in a place where it's really challenging to grow tomatoes had a bumper crop. So that's the silver lining, if there is one. And these tomatoes were grown. It's my sort of backyard carbon sequestration project. Really, they weighed a lot. So to set the stage here, what we have first are a set of 4 talks that will discuss the climate dynamics, as well as putting this water year in the context of both the observed as well as the future climate. We'll hear about the snow and flow story in terms of the hydrologic impacts from this year. And then we'll hear about how science and management actually dealt with this issue in Oregon. After that, what we'll have is actually a roundtable discussion. We'll hear perspectives from federal, state, and city agencies in terms of how they dealt with this water year, and learn about what lessons they learned that might be able to be applied going forward to increase climate resiliency.